I have some news that I have been waiting to tell you guys for so long. And I don't just mean I've been waiting to tell you guys for so long in terms of, oh, it's a secret. I mean, I've been waiting to be able to say this for probably about 9 years. If you've been following me on Instagram and you've seen some of my stories, I feel like this won't have come as a giant surprise because I haven't been terribly secretive. But by the same token, I feel like if I don't mark the occasion, it doesn't feel real yet. So I am very, very, very excited to share with you all that in 2 weeks' time, I will have done my first dressage tests, yes, multiple, at our first ever international event, which is just so super exciting. It's not like me to get this like jazzed up about something, but I kid you not, I have desperately been wanting to compete at international level since I've started BE, I would say. It's been a very, very long-term goal. I started BE, I was in under 18s, and I really wanted to get onto the under 18 team, which speaking in old money, you competed at 1 star, which is now 2 star because I've added the introductory level in. Obviously, you had to be competing at novice level and good enough to get selected, etc. They had introduced the 100 level in, but that was quite a new thing for under 18s. These days at under 18s, I think you can do like 80 and 90 as well, which is fantastic. But back in the old days, we could only do 100 and novice, and it was incredibly competitive to get in. And I think that was the first thing that sort of alerted me to the fact that there was this magical international event that was 1 star, now 2 star, and it looked incredibly scary, and it was something I really, really wanted to do. And fast forward a lot of years, because I mean, gosh, we're talking 10 years ago to be going into under 18s now, which is madness. I am not that old. Surely I'm not that old. I am that old. Oh well. But we've gone through all the trials and tribulations. We've gone through so many horses, and I don't mean that in a way of, oh, I've discarded horses. It's just how life seems to have panned out, that it doesn't go perfectly. You think you've got a horse that's going to be able to do it, and then injuries happen and life doesn't happen the way you want it to, and hey presto, a good at least 9 years later, I am here to say that I will be going to Osberton International Horse Trials as an international athlete, because I am registered as an athlete now on the FEI website, and I will be taking Maggie to do the 1 star and Donut to do the 2 star, which is equally terrifying and exciting all at the same time, because as I say, this has been a goal for a very long time. And yeah, maybe I could have done 1 star a couple of years ago, but now feels like the right time, and it just feels so good to be finally able to do the 2 star, which is, you know, that is the level I had originally been aiming for as well. And they're both doing shorts. So when you're doing international, you get like 2 star short and 2 star long. That usually changes the format that it runs in that a short normally runs in like a 1 day format where you go dressage, show jumping, cross country. And then a long has a much longer cross country. I think it's meant to be a bit harder, a bit more technical. And it's usually run across 3 days or 4 days if there's 2 days of dressage. And you do dressage, cross country, show jumping. And the difference as well with a short to a long is, on a long you would do a trot up before your dressage and a trot up after your cross country before your show jumping. whereas a short you usually don't have to bother with the trot up before dressage. You just do the one after cross country, well, after show jumping before cross country, I think. I don't know, I'm not that clued up yet. But for this event, Bede Events, who are running it, have actually decided to run in sort of long format order. But obviously they're short events, so my cross country won't be longer. So Maggie and Donut will be doing their dressage, I think, on the Wednesday, and then they'll go cross country on Friday, and then show jumping on the Saturday. So it's going to be our first proper go at like a 3-day. I mean, it is being run over 3 and 4 days, so it is effectively that, which I think is really exciting. The other element of it is that it's going to be my first time riding in tailcoat, which again, it's been a long-term dream. I've always been wanting to be able to do the whole tailcoat thing. I'll also get to do a trot up. So I think we have an initial horse inspection, like on getting there, just to check that they're okay before dressage, but it's not an official trot up. But we will have a proper trot up on the Saturday morning before we show jump as well. So I need to sort myself out an outfit where I look nice. So I kind of wanted to do this video to say all of that in my excited way. And then I also wanted to just fill you in on a few bits I've been doing to prepare, because we're only 2 weeks away now. So let's just start from the beginning, I guess. Okay, so the first thing I had to do was figure out how to register FEI, because did not have a clue. Luckily got a few friends who have obviously done the level before, so they guided me through. Basically, if you want to know, there is a form on the BE website. You have to fill it in. It's literally a PDF, so I just filled it in on like a PDF editor, filled in all my details because I needed to register myself, FEI, and then all of the horses' details. You then send that form to BE alongside pictures of your passports, so that it can all be verified and the likes of the horses' passports. And for competing within this country, that's all that you need to do. You then obviously have to pay, but once they say that it's okay, I just had lots of email conversations with BE. Once they said that was okay, I just had to ring them up and pay for my membership, which I think cost, I think it was about £60 for me and £40 for the horses, there and thereabouts. I mean, £40 per horse, cost about £140, £150 in total. So that was the first thing I needed to do in order to have my FEI number and be able to enter the event. So I had to do that prior to entries opening. And then following on from that, I was able to enter Osberton, and I've had to download the FEI app. I don't 100% know what I'm doing with that yet, but I've like linked my horses in, because my horses now have an FEI number, and I think I've got to log their temperatures, particularly the 3 days before the event. So I've got that downloaded, and I'm just going to start logging their temperatures fairly soon, so that that's there and done. The next thing I've been getting ready for is, I'm aware I've got a trot up to do. So I've actually been practicing trotting the horses up, because I think there's more of an art to it than you realise. I actually went to both the trot up days at Burley. Obviously, it's not going to be as big scale as Burley, but I thought they're the best people to learn from, because they're not at their first trot up, are they, if they're trotting up their horses at Burley? So I was just watching how they were holding the horses, what the routine was. It's quite clear. You walk up to the ground jury, you halt your horse, the vet walks around and has a look, and then when they're ready, they tell you you can trot on. So I've been practicing that, just walking them up, asking them to halt, and then walking off, trotting on, doing a loop, trotting back. So I don't want to feel all fingers and thumbs. I want to be practiced. So I've been practicing that. I've also had my vet come and watch the horses trot up, just so that I know that they're happy and that we're not looking at anything that we've got to worry about as such. I don't want to rock up at Osberton and suddenly be like, oh, I didn't realise there was that wrong. So they've checked that. They've also checked my horse's microchips, just used the microchip scanner, checked it against the passports, because they do check that when you get there, whereas I've never had that checked at a BE event before. I assume they probably can check, but it's just not something that seems to be regularly done. Maggie last had a microchip checked as a 3-year-old when I was getting her vetted. I can't even remember. It must have been okay, but it was a long time ago because she's 10 now. So it was a long time ago that it last got checked. So I thought, get hers checked. I never got Donut vetted with getting him for £1 and being able to have him on trial and everything. So he's never had his microchip checked while he's been with me. So I thought best get him checked out too. Luckily, both of those are fine, because again, that would be a really silly thing to rock up at the event and then get turned around and sent home, because it really isn't cheap to enter. So I didn't want to just think, oh, why didn't I get that checked before? So like I say, vet's been here, watched the horses chopped up, checked their microchips to make sure that we get the thumbs up to go forwards with that. I listened to a podcast on equi-ratings that was talking about going to your first international. I can't remember who exactly it was with, but it was really, really helpful. And she mentioned about making sure your gallops are in the right order and working back from your event. So your last gallop should be 6 to 7 days before you go cross country, and then every 5 days-ish before that. So I've sort of put that in the calendar, and I've been working towards that on how often I gallop the horses, and also tying it in with their events beforehand. And then on top of that, I have borrowed a set of tails, a tailcoat, off of my amazing friend Amber, and I've gone and had a bit of a practice in them. Donut had his first practice run in them this morning. Maggie needs to have a practice run in them, just to make sure that I don't put them on and they go, oh my God, something's flapping at my side, because it is very different. I mean, the good thing is that I tend to ride in long coats through winter and the likes, and they don't bother because they're very used to me in that. So I can't see it be an issue, but I don't want to suddenly realise my dressage test could have been 500 times better because they were pulling their pants about the fact the tailcoat was touching them on their sides during the test. So it's all about preparation. I thought I would just let you know those bits that I have done to prepare, just in case anybody's ever looking at doing their first international. And yeah, I just wanted to share the news with you. I did have a look at my 2-star dressage test this morning. I'm definitely going to have to put a long dressage arena out because it's a lot more complex than any dressage test I've ever done before. So that will be an interesting challenge for Donut. I've not looked at Maggie's 1-star test yet, but I'd like to hope that's well within our remit. But again, I'll be practicing it in the long arena. Do let me know if you'd like a video on me sort of learning to ride through these tests and practice it, because I know dressage isn't always the most exciting video in the world, but it might be interesting to some of you, and I can always do a video if you think it is interesting. And yeah, I think that's everything, and I hope you guys are looking forward to coming along on the journey with us for it. So if you have any questions, do let me know, because I will be learning as I'm going, and I will share what I can with you so that anybody else new to the level can learn from it too. We're going to be the blind leading the blind a little bit, although I am trying to do my research plenty and ask for lots of advice and the likes. And yeah, we will be seeing you at Osberton fairly soon. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, please, guys, because it really helps me out, and subscribe if you're not already, else you might miss it. So I will see you very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. It could be glorious.